It's time to wake up San Gabriel Valley with CCN Sunrise.
Good morning, everybody. Glad to have you with us here on CCN Sunrise. We have another special election edition, part two. First, we'll have Calvin Wells in. Actually, not first. We'll have him in second. We did talk to Tyron Hampton on camera, so we'll show you that. And then trainer to the stars like Will Smith will show you how to get in shape.
We have Mary Winters here, and Chef Aaron Vaughn is cooking Zoodles.
Zoodles.
What are Zoodles? Well, you have to stay tuned and find out.
I can't wait.
And we have a big announcement also. Dr. Michelle had her baby, Sehnita.
Baby Dylan Kate, what a beautiful little name.
6 pounds, 2 ounces, 20 inches long, nice and healthy.
Early Monday morning.
Yeah.
They said they're big Bob Dylan fans, so I love that as a girl's name.
It's very pretty, and it's a beautiful baby.
But speaking of birthdays, a friend of mine just turned 40, and she put...
I'm sorry.
She should be lucky. There are some people who don't get there, right?
Right.
But, she wants to put together kind of a 40 bucket list of 40 things, daring things she wants to do. In
the next phase of her life.
Yes.
I think that's a
next
fantastic
year, I don't
idea.
know. What's on your bucket list?
Well, I have to tell you, it's interesting because I put together a bucket list not too long ago, and my wife rejected everything on it. I got it back. It was covered in red ink.
How does someone reject your bucket list? She has that power?
Well, I guess I assumed that she would do these things with me. And she said, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that.
What was rejected out?
Well,
what got crossed off?
Things like I want to go to Gettysburg. I've always been interested in the Civil War. I've done some studying of the Old West. I wanted to go to Little Bighorn. Well, maybe it's a woman thing.
Daughters! No. I'd go there with you. But so what did she say? Yeah, I'll do that one with you.
Nothing.
Actually. You're on your own for this one. You hit the bucket on your own.
Yeah, my bucket list is a single bachelor bucket list.
Yeah, for me, people have marathons and things like that. I have no desire to do a marathon. I'm not going to be doing it. But I do want to do a mountain climb. So I think someday Kili's on my radar that I want to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. But I told our technical director.
I thought you meant like hike up a hill.
And I will be killed.
Like the Santa Monica Mountains right
Well, that's what our technical director, Charles, told me. He's like, why don't you start with Mount Washington? He's got a good point there. Exactly, so I'm holding you to that, Charles, to go with me. But now we're going to move on to the news with CCN's Jesse Mogle.
And now, CCN, Crown City News. Your news, your neighborhood starts right now.
Hi, Sehnita and Joseph. Here are some of the headlines making news right here in the San Gabriel Valley. The 710 freeway extension has been a hot topic this election season in the San Gabriel Valley. Earlier this week, the city of Pasadena dedicated 2 days to the issue at the Pasadena Convention Center. A 7-member working group that Mayor Bill Bogard and City Manager Michael Beck appointed last September gave a recommendation against finishing the 710 and having it extend through several cities, including Pasadena. The council voted 5-3 against the tunnel extension. Nearly 200 people attended the event, while most who spoke during the public comment were opposed to the tunnel. A few said they were in favor of it or of Metro and Caltrans going back to the drawing board.
Therefore, the East Los Angeles Chamber of Commerce supports the completion of the 710 North Tunnel. We have no alternatives. We should sit down and tell Metro to go back to the drawing board and do something that makes sense.
While I'm currently not a voter here in Pasadena, if my own city council in Alhambra continues to misinform and ignore its own citizens, perhaps one day I'll move here. Please lead the way for the San Gabriel Valley, oppose the 710 tunnel, and support the Pasadena Working Group's People's Alternative. Thank you.
Tornak, Kennedy, and McAustin voted in favor of the tunnel, citing Measure A, which the public voted on in 2001 to move forward with the extension. The task force came up with a few other alternatives to completing the 710, more light rail and bus services along with bike transportation. We only showed you a little bit of the nearly 4-hour meeting on Monday. You can catch the full video from both Monday and Tuesday on the City of Pasadena's website, cityofpasadena.net. At first, neighbors thought it was a bomb, but it turned out to be a vault fire. Firefighters responded and evacuated a few blocks for hours on Tuesday morning, April 14th in Pasadena. CCN's Tony Mead joins us live with more on the story.
Good morning, Jesse. What started out as an underground electrical fire sparked a power outage to hundreds of commercial and residential properties in Pasadena on North Lake Avenue. It also prompted immediate evacuations of nearby buildings, homes, and schools. Neighbors wondered if a bomb had gone off. Pasadena Fire and Police arrived at 955 North Lake Avenue, the Los Angeles County Department of Public Social Service building. They found an underground electrical vault fire. Although firefighters say no one saw any flames, witnesses reported black smoke coming from the manhole cover over the vault. Pasadena Fire Department Public Information Officer Lisa Derderian says the vault provides power to residents and businesses, and debris buildup caused the fire. She said this situation could have been worse.
It's a big vault with a manhole cover, and there are rare instances where they'll heat up, they can explode, causes a manhole cover to fly several feet to cause injuries and or damage to vehicles if they're nearby or buildings. It can be very dangerous if not mitigated immediately. That's why we waited for the power department to shut down energy to that grid so we can then go in and remove the smoke. There was still a lot of smoke even an hour into the incident inside the vault. And with the water potentially being affected, we had Pasadena Health, we had Water and Power Department, Fire, Police assisted with evacuations. It's real good teamwork with several of our city departments involved.
Most of these vaults are located in commercial areas. Luckily, there were no reported injuries. Power was restored for most residents around 1 p.m. Tuesday afternoon. Crews from Pasadena Water and Power are still investigating the incident. Jesse, back to you.
Thank you, Tony. Pasadena fire officials encourage residents to register their cell phone to get notices about emergencies like this fire by visiting readypasadena.net. Pasadena is the home of Caltech, JPL, and many other institutions working towards human advancement here on Earth and in outer space. Their talents took center stage at Crown City's inaugural NASA Space Apps Challenge event, which some call a hackathon, and CCN was there.
Given that Pasadena kind of has played such a big role in the past, the present, and ideally the future of what NASA is doing on Earth and especially out in space, it's only natural that this event take place here in Pasadena.
The event organizer Joe Brisboy is talking about is the International Space Apps Challenge. Pasadena was one of 133 participating cities around the world that accepted NASA's challenge to create an application or solution using their enormous library of data.
Rocketry was practically invented here in the Arroyo, so to have Pasadena play a role in this global challenge and to kind of take its place among all the other great cities across the globe that are participating just feels natural. It feels like we should have a seat at the table.
The mission for this event is to promote global innovation centered around 4 key subjects: outer space, Earth, humans, and robotics.
A vision and approach for space apps is to really get global involvement and be able to generate and tap into just global innovation very quickly in the hackathons.
3 teams from Pasadena move forward into the global competition. Their focus: robotic astronaut assistance and 3D printing of food in growth containers.
It'd be great if instead of sending food up to whatever space station or Mars, if you could just grow it in space. And what are the sort of capabilities that are necessary to do that? What sort of systems are in place that have to do that? So we just proposed a solution for that.
Organizers say Pasadena has plenty of talented people and that events like the NASA Space Apps Challenge is a great opportunity to showcase their skills to the world.
Whatever person you need for the job, you'll find them here in Pasadena.
Competition will continue accepting votes for the team's projects until May, so you can still plug in at 2015.SpaceAppsChallenge to support your Pasadena talent. San Gabriel Valley, get on that. That's it for the news. Sehnita and Joseph, back to you.
This hackathon, 3D printing of food, that blows my mind. I mean, everyone's up in arms about GMO food, but
how do you make 3D food? How do you create food without growing it that tastes like anything
they're
else?
They're still working on that, but the product that actually makes the 3D food is based on potatoes and corn, so it is edible. So once it gets, now they just need to put in the nutrients and the taste.
Potatoes and everything tastes like potatoes and corn. But I have something else I want to ask about. The name of this thing scares me a little bit, the hackathon.
Yes.
I'm worried that people are there learning how to get into my computer.
These
and
are
mess
only
stuff
good
up
people. Hackathon would throw
how
you
do we
off.
know?
Trust us.
Yeah,
Trust
we
us.
just have to trust them. We have to trust them.
I trust no one.
They are not out for your Target credit card numbers. They are actually doing good things for humankind. So they're really
good
amazing
things
people.
For humankind. Thanks, Jesse, for that.
Creating
Absolutely.
meat that tastes like potatoes.
Yummy. Well, coming up on our CCN Sunrise Election Special Part 2, we talked to both candidates running for Pasadena City Council District 1 seat in the April runoff election coming up on April 21st.
Tyron Hampton wasn't able to make it in studio, but we still caught up with him, asked him about the race, find out what he had to say about the campaign next.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
I've got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does. And like that, you're a job creator.
You sure you don't want some? It's chamomile. Listen, you are extremely terrifying. Just the scariest undead subhuman thing on TV, and I really mean that. But I am worried that you could give my kids nightmares if they see you, so I'm gonna have to block you. So that's it. Oh, and tell the zombies they're blocked too.
Okay, Simon, what do people wear?
Clothes.
That's right, so it's important to learn how to dress yourself. Here's how it's done. Shirt, underwear, pants, socks, shoes. Underwear, always first, name tag on the back. Then pants and shirt. Go ahead and put this on. Now with the shirt, you want to make sure the first button's right or you have to start all over again, okay? Socks left on left, right on right. Tying the shoes, we're gonna take the laces, we're gonna cross them over, we're gonna turn around where the bunny goes down in the hole, pull it tight, and bunny ears. Got it?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
Despite spending a lot less money, he received 45.6% of the vote in the general election, just shy of the 50+1% he needed to win outright. Tyron Hampton heads into the April 21st runoff election as a leader against respected former Fire Chief Calvin Wells for the Pasadena City Council District 1 seat.
Well, we reached out to both candidates and originally planned to have them here on April 10th, but when that date didn't work for Tyron Hampton, we rescheduled Calvin Wells for today, April 17th, and then of course there was a scheduling snafu and Tyron Hampton wasn't able to make it into the studio today. But CCN's Tammy Devine caught up with Hampton earlier in the week and talked with him about the issues surrounding his campaign and his platform.
Hi everybody, Tyron Hampton asked me to meet him here at La Pintoresca Park, and that's where we are right now. I wanted to ask him about the campaign and his platforms and all kinds of things. So thanks so much for being with me here and talking to me, Tyron. I appreciate it.
Thank you for accommodating and meeting me here at La Pintoresca Park.
Okay, now you started off as a school board member. You're still a school board member.
Yes, I am.
And you wanted to move into City Council District Seat 1. Why did you want to do that?
Well, yeah, I believe in divine intervention, and as a school board member, when I ran for school board, I had a couple friends that came to me, my wife, who said, you know what, you should run and do something in politics in the city of Pasadena, and they felt that I was very opinionated, and they felt that I could make a big difference and change in this community, which I have as a school board member. And so I always said I wouldn't plan on leaving the school board unless someone came to me and said, Tyron, I'd like to see you somewhere else. And divine intervention came again from 6 or 7 different parents came to me that are totally unseparated at different school sites, and they said, we would love to see some some representation like this at the city. They felt like I was a refreshing breath of air, and that's some quotes that I've received from parents via emails and things. So that's the main reason why I'm running for City Council District 1. I was asked to by my community.
Okay, now, you know, the campaign, I'd say, I know you don't consider it to be heated, but I'd say it's kind of heated because there are a lot of notices and flyers and things out there kind of comparing former Chief Calvin Wells, former Fire Chief Calvin Wells, and Tyron Hampton. And, you know, one of the flyers says quitter. That's looking, you know, to show that you're quitting the school board to run for something else. What did you think when you saw that flyer?
I haven't quitted anything. I'm running to represent the same community that I represent as a school board member, and from the platform of being on City Council, I know that we could help more of the youth in the city of Pasadena than I can as a school board member, and also I could help more of the parents. Parents come to me that are working 3 part-time jobs just to live in the city of Pasadena, and I think that is that says a lot about the city of Pasadena, that you would work 3 jobs to live here. And you know, I think that our city needs to make sure that we're focusing on the people and taking the politics out and making sure that we're developing people. So that's what my campaign is about taking the politics out, focusing on the people. My campaign, my side has not been heated at all. I feel great about this campaign. I think it's about bringing positivity and bringing the community together.
One of the flyers out there compares Fire Chief Wells to you, and one of the things is age, you know, saying that you're only 32 years old, and but that Chief Wells has been in public service for, you know, many, many years. What do you think about that?
Well, Chief Wells he's a public employee. As far as public service goes, I'm a true public servant. I'm a school board member. I don't get paid to do what I do. I mean, Mr. Wells received about $300,000 in compensation doing the job that he did here in our community. So I'm totally unpaid, and I consider what I do a public service. Not saying that what he's doing is not, but you know, he's paid to do so.
So would you just kind of explain some of the platforms that you're running on, so that people out there can understand what you're all about here?
Well, we've been running on what the community has asked for. The community, some community members, depending on where you're at in the community, if you're by the Rose Bowl area, they want to make sure that they're preserving the homes in the area that they live in now. If you live here in La Pintoresca Park area, people are concerned about jobs and concerned about crime in this community. If you live closer to Lake Avenue, people would love to have family locations where you could go and get a nice bite to eat with your whole family. So there's been a lot of different areas. I mean, District 1, I think, is a microcosm of the whole entire city of Pasadena, because we have uber wealthy in District 1, and then we have some that are working, like I said in the beginning, 3 or 4 part-time jobs just to live in the city of Pasadena because they feel like this is the best place for their family.
You've mentioned that you've walked the district quite a bit in tennis shoes, and you have bright colored shoes that you do. What's it been like as you've been walking the community, and people, I'm sure people have commented on the shoes.
Oh, everybody comments on the shoes. They say, oh, you're walking really fast. Sometimes they're orange, sometimes they're bright. I think that I've got to be comfortable, number one.
One of the things that I think a lot of, that everybody pretty much has consensus on is this embezzlement scandal, that was a major, major problem. I'm sure you've had time to think about it. How will you address that situation as council member?
Once I'm sworn in and well-versed on the whole entire situation, especially some of the things that are happening in closed, and I have an opportunity to see the internal investigation, then I can make a more informed decision on this embezzlement. But do I believe that the corporates need to be fully prosecuted? 100%.
Where are you on the 710 freeway issue?
Well, the 710 freeway, in my opinion, I think that the 710 freeway could be a bit of a hindrance, and it could displace a lot of families in the community.
So let's close it off by letting voters know why you think they should vote for you versus former Fire Chief Calvin Wells for District 1.
Number one, I'm going to treat everyone with respect. I'm going to be positive representation. I'm going to bring positive changes to our community. anyone that has a question and wants to talk to me personally, I will make sure that I set aside time, just as I have as a school board member. And another reason why people should vote for me is because I have shown myself as a school board member and in 2 years the things that I can accomplish, and I know that we can make some positive changes in this community and bring people together. So I'm here about bringing people together, not tearing them apart.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for talking with me. I appreciate it. We covered a lot of topics, a lot of issues there, and I'm glad that people get a chance to talk to hear where you stand on those. I appreciate it.
Okay.
And that is all I have here from La Pintoresca Park. Sehnita and Joseph, back to you guys.
He got Will Smith in fighting shape.
Daryl Foster, trainer to the stars, joins Loa Blasucci, our own star, in the Fit and Beautiful segment to show some moves any of us can do to get a celebrity body. You think I can do it? Yeah.
Right here.
Don't go away. We've got it for you. It's in a package.
Right, mi cariño. So like I said, everything I learned about cooking, I learned from Grandma's empanadas. Shall we go again?
Yep.
Mix beef with the onions with the peppers with the paprika with the garlic with the oregano with the cumin. Got it?
Got it.
Throw on the olives, stir, season, stir again, pour out the flour, roll out the dough, make a circle, drop in a fistful of filling, fold over, press down, and ta-da!
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Preventing wildfires. That's all Smokey wants for his 70th birthday.
You know, Sehnita, my wife was getting on me about having a six-pack. I said, I have a six-pack. It's just still in the bag.
Is it Natty Light?
It's still in the bag. Well, we can't all be gym rats to get that perfectly chiseled body, but Daryl Foster, trainer to stars like Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, has some moves to get us into fighting shape.
Got the moves. In fact, Daryl got Will Smith in shape for his role in Ali and his latest movie, Focus. I don't know if you saw that one.
I did not.
But Daryl is here. He joins Loa Blasucci in her Fit and Beautiful segment.
I'm here this morning with Daryl Foster. Does everyone get how cool that is? This is the man. Oh my gosh. This is my happy day. Daryl, thank you for being here.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh. I have so much to go over, but let me just say, I want to get this out. You have a technique. You're not just a guy that just says, okay, show up, let's just do 10. You have a special technique. Can you just briefly tell us about that? Because I want to see you move too.
It's actually called E2, Enlightenment and Exercise, because what I do with a lot of people in the entertainment industry is train between the ears. So we train our intellect and our anatomy. First thing we do in the mornings, we might pick up a book or listen to an audio tape of a book, because a lot of times people have trouble with their motivation. So the human body is a living, breathing organism trying to maintain homeostasis or balance, I call it. So you have to train the brain and the body as well.
Absolutely. And I love how you've proven that to be true, just with your track record. Sugar Ray Leonard, oh my gosh.
18 years.
Oh, tell me about that for a second. I'm a boxing fan.
Well, you know, the program we've developed was training professional fighters and martial artists to do the long 12, 15 rounds back in the day. And I just brought that to the entertainment industry because there's long days, you know, 12, 14, 16 hours on set doing movies. Yeah. So I had the opportunity to work with Will Smith, you know, and train him for Ali. And
which, okay, let me just say that was genius, because when I watched Ali, I saw Ali and I thought, there was some science in this. Someone took Will Smith and then gave us Muhammad Ali. It was beautiful.
Actually, you know, they have to be off book with a lot of text, a lot of script. You know, I trained Antonio Banderas, Woody Harrelson, Terrence Howard, 4 different Oscar nominees. So it is, like I said, between the ears most of the time, and then we can get in gym and get moving.
And tell us what E2 means.
Enlightenment and exercise.
Enlightenment and exercise. Beautiful. Well, we gotta see you move.
Okay, let's do it.
Because you're the guy that does this. So I'm gonna hold your handheld and show us some stuff, because I want everyone today watching to feel like they can do some of what you do.
What's important is getting
because we don't all get you.
What's important
I'm so
is
happy
getting
right now,
the oxygen going in your body. So that's what I'm saying about
I love it.
increasing your oxygen extraction. So you want to get moving first thing in the morning. A lot of times I utilize things that I tell people to just get up and throw punches. Get up and throw punches. Get moving, get your feet moving, get your feet moving. But what I like best is
get the
jump
rope. Oh, me too. My favorite.
Is the jump rope.
Oh, yeah. This is a treat for you guys. Oh, I'm so excited. We get to watch Daryl Foster do his thing on the rope. Oh, look at the footwork. I love it.
So it's the same as, you know, running in place, similar to what marathon runners do, but if you want to step back a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Tear it up. Oh, my goodness. Woo! Thank you. Does anybody else love that as much as I do? Oh, my gosh. That's so exciting. I want to see this squat because you do it so perfectly. And what I see in my work a lot is that people have a difficult time accessing the posterior chain. They'll squat, but it's quad dominant. And I'd love for you to show this beautiful squat that you do with the bells. Awesome. Just beautiful. All right, tell us about that. Just tell us a little bit about that form. That was beautifully done.
Well, you're just incorporating the core, the glutes. You're increasing your oxygen extraction. So what's important is maintaining balance as you go down and as you come up.
Tell us about activating the glutes. I'm after my clients all the time. Activate your glutes. Everyone sits so much and they just kind of stop using the butt. So you did that so beautifully. Give us a couple of tips on that.
Well, whether you play golf, whether you play baseball, whether you're sitting around, because if you're sitting around at home, you're getting atrophied in the glute area.
Right. I see a ton of it.
Right, so you want to get parallel and actually only come 3/4 of the way up.
Look at this line right here. Watch the glutes go out. See how he's got his knee above. That's beautiful. Nicely done.
Yeah, you only want to become about 3/4 of the way up so that you're maintaining a contraction.
I love it.
You're not down, rest. Down, rest. You want to stop at
Stay
about
with it.
3/4.
Stay with it. Nice. Thank you so much for showing this. All right, give us one more of your favorite exercises that you love, that you see results with, that you love to work with your celebrity clients with.
Typical push-up, except utilizing the weight that you have to balance yourself on.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, Daryl. Oh my gosh. All right, well, I could do this for hours. I have had such a good time. Thank you so much for being here. This is like, for me, a total treat, and for all of us. I wish we had more time. You're amazing. This is the man. What a career. You got to look him up. Thank you so much for coming. I'm throwing it back to you guys, and I hate to, but have a great day. Thank you, Daryl.
That was quite a treat. Yeah. I like to have my guns out. And,
guns.
You know what I'm talking about?
That's not bad. That is not bad.
These are a little atrophied in these days, but I'll get them back.
Well, that's a lot of baby lifting.
There will be. But we have lots more coming up in the next half hour. Former Fire Department Chief Calvin Wells is here to talk about his campaign for District 1 City Council.
And personal chef Aaron Vaughn will show you how to make zoodles. And you'll find out what zoodles are when we come back.
I just like saying the word zoodles.
So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, excuse me, sit up straight, hold doors open for ladies. If the door's locked, knock first, don't burp, don't swear, don't stare, don't use bad language, or talk with your mouth full, keep your elbows off the table.
What table?
And don't interrupt. Cover your mouth when you cough or sneeze. On the bus, give your seat up to anybody who has trouble standing. Bottom line, treat others the way you want to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
Good talk.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Right, mi cariño. So like I said, everything I learned about cooking, I learned from Grandma's empanadas. Shall we go again?
Yep.
Mix the onions with the peppers with the paprika with the garlic with the oregano with the cumin. Got it?
Got it.
Throw in the olives, stir, season, stir again, pour out the flour, roll out the dough, make a circle, drop in a fistful of filling, fold over, press down, and ta-da!
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
We are back with our second half hour of CCN Sunrise. We heard earlier Tammy Devine talking to Tyrone Hampton about the District 1 seat. Now we're going to have Calvin Wells coming in this half hour.
And I really have to know what Zoodles are, so Chef Aaron Vaughn will be here to make Zoodles.
I can't wait for that part, so I'll actually know what they are. But time for the Morning Buzz, and Gary Amanoff, local activist and regional West LA Regional Director for the LA Republican Party. He's going to join us. Marco Rubio joined the presidential race this week, joining fellow Republicans Rand Paul and Jeb Bush. Hillary Clinton also released a video officially announcing she's in. Then she hit the open campaign road, but should she just stay home? It seems like there's one Texas female CEO who says, you know, she should stay home because it's a man's job, you know?
Now, why would you bring that up? Gary, isn't this what happens? This blasted social media, somebody gets on that no one has ever heard of before, says something that a lot of us feel is kind of stupid, and then it gets blasted all over.
You say it's stupid, but you know what? When it comes down to it, these kinds of things are going to come out. The rape, it goes away by its own. The pregnancy goes away on its own if you're raped. It's not just these random comments. I understand that she wrote this on her personal Facebook page, but this is how it happened.
Well, Gary, can you respond to the absolute the terrorism that she's wreaking on Republicans right now?
Yes.
Well, I think we've seen women leaders of countries in the past who have done great jobs.
Golda Meir of
Golda Meir, Margaret Thatcher.
Hillary Clinton.
But here's the thing, to put all of this on Republicans, I think when Carly Fiorina is considering jumping into the race, when we have someone like Condoleezza Rice that they're trying to draft into the California Senate race, I think that this woman is a lone. I don't think she speaks for anyone but herself, and certainly not the vast majority of Republicans.
The Republican Party so aligns itself with being synonymous with being Christian. And that's what she's saying. I'm old-fashioned, I'm Christian.
Well,
and they make these kinds of comments. Isn't it fair to bring this up?
I think most Christians disagree with her.
I'm just going to say that.
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
Not on the Republican
Christian,
side.
Right.
What do you say, Gary?
I say there are women who can do just as good a job as a man in the role of President of the United States. I don't know if Hillary is one of them.
Well, now let's talk about this, because now we're talking, but here's a woman who, according to a lot of people, rose to prominence on the coattails of her husband.
Okay, talk about unfair. I mean, Hillary Clinton stands on her own. Come on, it is not on the coattail. She was the first student to address her college, university, Wellesley.
I don't think that qualifies you to be president of the United
But
States.
she has
was
put
first
in
lady.
the
She was
work.
given a Senate seat. It was handed to her
Come on,
because she
Gary,
was first
coattails.
lady.
I don't know that so much coattails, it may be, but I think people are supporting her because they want to see Bill back in the White House.
You don't think it's the work that she did in the Senate? Not everyone agrees, but her work as Secretary of State.
Can you name some of that work that she did in the Senate? Because a lot of us are
a lot of
having
people
a problem
supported her.
finding it.
A
But
lot-
listen, let's move on to one thing because I want to talk about this TSA. It was something that was very troubling to me, happened this week when there were 2 TSA agents that were fired for this scheme to grope men.
Right.
Now, having gone through the screening process several times and been felt up by TSA and had my my private
Your junk.
my junk touched, this is concerning to me.
Right.
Is this widespread? I mean, is the TSA making us safer, or are they doing just playing games with us?
I don't think the TSA is making us safer. I think that TSA could be eliminated and we'd be not any less secure in this country. I'm not sure.
So we're all just walking into planes just willy-nilly?
Yeah. Well,
or are
we
you
could
talking
go
about
through.
going back to essentially because there was security that we've had for decades. Before we had this kind of everybody has to go through X-rays.
Before we had
take their
underwear
shoes off,
bombers, shoe bombers, all of that.
which all of them got through the TSA and security.
I guess all the terrorists that have been caught going through airport lines justifies the TSA being present. That number is 0.
You know what they have done is they've collected an awful lot of lotion. An awful lot of lotion and mouthwash.
I hear you, but you know what? My complaint, I can handle the TSA line. I haven't been groped. I got my elbows up when that happens. But it's the airlines themselves. I mean, can they make it any more miserable? They're going to make the seats smaller. They're going to, they're taking away my TV right in front of me. I mean,
You gotta
it
have her
just
TV.
gets
Sehnita
worse.
must have her TV.
I need my free movies. It's the only time I get to watch
Well,
them. It's miserable. You pay
we
more
are
money
in
and you get
agreement
less.
on this. I hate
Right.
flying.
Me too.
It's an absolute
It used to
miserable experience.
actually be nice and fun to fly. Now it's an ordeal.
It is a huge ordeal.
And let's talk about the other thing. When I was coming up, people dressed to fly.
Yes,
You might be
right,
too
I
young
know.
to remember this, but
Right.
we got dressed. We got dressed up. Now,
Right.
really, the de jour airline wear is to wear pajama bottoms, something that's loose. Flip-flops so you can just get them off when you go through security.
It's because you
no
have like
belt.
a 10-hour layover just to get from Michigan to Indiana. You have to wait in Detroit for 10 hours or something like that. So
go
you gotta
to
be
Chicago.
you got to be comfy. But I hear you. I don't know what's going on with TSA, but I do want them there. Going private is not the answer because
Yeah.
we've seen that with the airlines.
It's the
They're not making
perception
better.
of security, not necessarily the reality
Absolutely. But thanks for being here, Gary.
Thank you.
And up next, he retired as chief of the Pasadena Fire Department, but that didn't slow him down.
Now he's running for the Pasadena City Council District 1 seat. Chief Calvin Wells joins us to tell us why he thinks he can beat Tyron Hampton in the runoff. That's coming up next.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
There's no place like home.
Getting home safely is just a click away. And choosing the right seat for your little one's age and size will take you down the road to safer travels.
How can I ever thank you enough?
Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
He retired as the chief of the Pasadena City Fire Department, but isn't looking to take it easy. He's in the race for Pasadena City Council District 1 seat against Tyron Hampton. He's also the father to one of our former reporters, Alex Wells. We're so glad to have you in here, Chief Wells. And you were trying to be so flexible and accommodating to accommodate a joint forum with Tyron Hampton, and that just didn't seem to quite work out. Do you think Tyron's running from you?
You know, there's an old saying, you can run but you can't hide. You know, and I have reached that conclusion. If you look back to the primary season where he failed to show up at the various public forums, with the exception of one. I have called out for early on debate in the general election season. For whatever reason, he failed to accommodate that request. So I don't think he wants to discuss the issues.
My question then is, given his lack of engagement, he did garner, what was it, 40 or 30, a large percentage of the vote in the first election, and has taken quite a few endorsements. What's your response to that? How does he manage to do that and yet not engage you, not interact?
He is an incumbent on the school board, so he has a constituency. We're well aware of that. I was one of the people that elected him to the school board, quite frankly. By the way, we would love to see him stay there and complete that job that he was elected to do. But as such, I think he had the name recognition. And let's face it, he's a very approachable, very likable young man, a people person.
Except when it comes to debating you.
Well, you know, I wouldn't say lack of engagement, because obviously, you know, you've raised a lot of money in this campaign, and one of the things that was highlighted even when he ran for the PUSD seat was he didn't spend a lot of money, but he was out there, you know, meeting people, engaging with people, and that's really was his strategy, and it looks like he's trying to reuse that strategy. So why do you think, even though you've raised a lot more money, that you know, there's still that significant gap from the last election?
Well, as far as campaign finances, most of my fundraising has actually occurred midway through the primary season and up to date. So that momentum is something that's ongoing. But I have been reaching out door to door, block to block, to the various neighbors, having that personal interaction and engagement and hearing the issues and concerns.
Let's talk more about the issues, especially the embezzlement scandal. I mean, it's such a big issue that, you know, people are just wrapping their head around. What do you think needs to happen with that?
Well, the whole embezzlement scandal, first of all, it was a tragedy. You know, just a travesty, really, to our city. And what needs to happen, we need to make sure that we have controls in place as a city and follow those controls and make sure that we have implemented best practices when it comes to our fiscal finances. At the end of the day, we need to let this investigation get completed. And after a thorough and fruitful investigation, we need to hold those parties accountable who are responsible for this.
Do you think Michael Beck will be held accountable? Do you think he needs to be held accountable, or did he come in on the tail end of this?
I believe that everyone from the lowest to the highest level needs to be held accountable. Once we have a comprehensive report and the facts out, everyone that has a responsible role in this needs to be held accountable to some degree.
Well, let's bring it a little bit closer to home, to the district itself. Gangs and violence in District 1. Do you have plans to address that?
Absolutely. You know, the 2020 initiative that was really spearheaded by Jackie Robinson is a great approach to dealing with such issues. I particularly am excited about the aspect of job creation and the vocations and raising the skill level in our community. Because when you give people a sense of self-worth and a job to go to day to day, I think that begins to offset the crime and the other issues that are going on in the
Well,
community.
what are some of the ways in which the City Council, in general, you specifically, are going to create jobs?
Because that's been an ongoing, you know, request or, you know, need.
It is, absolutely. I'm a huge advocate for increasing the skill level, particularly through monies that are available through the State Department. There's a lot of local money available for job creation. particularly in the building trades. I think that is a no-brainer, and we need to expand that. I'd like to see that pushed down to the middle school level. Begin getting kids working with their hands again, learning about the vocations, learning about what they're passionate about.
Wouldn't the 710 freeway coming through here create jobs for people in the community? Where's your stand on that?
Well, my stand on the 710 freeway is that it's a bad proposition. There's an impact to public safety and the environment by the very nature of what is being proposed. It's going to increase traffic in our community, both surface street traffic as well as the interstate traffic. It's an inherent risk to first responders to go into a tunnel environment to deal with whether it be a hazardous material incident from the hundreds of trucks that will be going through there at any given time of day, or a major fire, or for that matter, a major accident. There's nothing good about what's being proposed with the 710, and I am against it.
Going back to funds and safety a little bit, the police have really been, saying that there aren't enough funds to train them, that the department's really imploding. What do you think needs to happen with that?
I think on a citywide basis, we need to make sure that we are compensating our employees the fair market rate. Because if you want to have good, effective public service, okay, you must have a viable workforce that is being compensated in accordance with the prevailing rate around the region. Pasadena has done a good job of that in the past. As is the case with the police department, they've fallen behind the scale, and we need to shore that up, find a way to fund it, and make them whole.
Well, you have the public schools here, Pasadena Unified, also complaining about lack of funds.
Absolutely.
I didn't really pose that as a question. I just kind of put it out there.
And I'm not sure if we're giving you enough time. If you could just take a quick 10 seconds.
Well, that's a real issue. School funding, we have a decline in our student enrollment. Okay, per capita, they receive funding by the number of students from the state.
It's not fair because we didn't have enough time to let you really get to that. So I'm not going to force you to give it 3 seconds.
So, Chief Wells, we thank you for coming in, and we obviously need to talk with you a lot more and have you back again. Good luck with the race.
Thanks for having me. Okay.
Well, don't go away. When we come back, we'll find out more about how Hathaway Sycamores helps foster kids find supportive families.
And Mary Winters will tell us about the best activities to keep seniors in senior living facilities engaged, and that's coming up next.
We have too many things to ask you.
Great. We're going to try this again, okay?
Okay.
Wheels, pedals, handlebar, brakes. Sit up straight, keep your weight in the center, keep your eyes on the road, hands on the grips, button the seat. If we feel ourselves falling, what do?
Just keep pedaling.
Good girl. Now remember, it's all about balance and steering. Steer with your hands, steer with your body. Steer into the corners and you stay out of trouble. And the bell's your buddy, so go ahead and ding that. All right, ready? Here we go. Pedal, honey, pedal. There you go, you're a bike rider.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
A full life, measured in seats, starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
foster children often get shuffled around the system looking for a good home. Nonprofit Hathaway Sycamores helps bridge the gap in helping foster kids find the right home to stop the shuffle.
CCN's Tony Mead talked to the interim CEO of the nonprofit, Debbie Manners, about how they help train families for foster care and adoption. Take a look.
Ever thought about being a foster or adoptive parent? Hathaway Sycamores provides services for over 9,000 children and families. Here with me to discuss some of the many services is CEO Debbie Manners. Debbie, talk about some of your services and the impact it has had.
We provide services throughout all of Los Angeles County, from Lancaster to South LA, Covina, and Commerce. We provide mental health services, residential services, foster care and adoption, mental health services in the schools, and at the location we're here right now in Highland Park, we provide mentoring, tutoring, and outreach and support.
Tell us about one of your adoption stories.
We have many great adoption stories. All of them are so wonderful that we have children of all ages that are welcomed into homes. Usually they start as foster parents and then they adopt the children. And most recently we had a wonderful family, the Gutierrez family, that adopted a sibling set of 3 and then they now live together in Alhambra.
What is the organization's greatest strength?
Our greatest strength are our services. We go to the end of the earth for the kids and the families that we work with. We also provide transitional living services throughout Los Angeles County. And those services are provided to youth who've emancipated from the foster care system and are usually homeless or sometimes incarcerated.
Okay, recently Dwight Howard came and paid you a visit. What was that about?
So yeah, Dwight Howard was great. He came to our El Nido campus to visit the boys who live there. And it was wonderful to see him just really sit down and then ask each of the individual boys, what are your goals and how are you achieving them and what are you doing and how can he help them be more successful in life?
Tell us about some of your upcoming events.
We have some great events happening. On April 19th, we have our wine tasting that's sponsored by our Los Altos Auxiliary. We also have a Shot at a Million. It's a golf tournament event, and that is on May 15th. And then on October 3rd, we have our large event, which is our Celebrating Children, and that will be held at the Los Angeles History Museum.
How can the community help?
We have volunteer opportunities at our residential campus up in Altadena to work with the boys who live there. And we also have opportunities here at Highland Park at our Family Resource Center to help with tutoring. We also have the opportunity to provide donations. You can go to our website at hathawaysycamores.org, or you can call us if you want more information at 626-395-7100.
Thank you. With over 19,000 children and teens in LA County foster care system, Hathaway Sycamores has 11 locations providing for these children. In Highland Park, Tony Mead, CCN.
It's a question of the ages. How do you enjoy spaghetti without pasta? Guess you use squash.
Personal chef Aaron Vaughn will show us how to make zucchini noodles or Zoodles, and that's next on A Taste of Sunrise.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
It's sometimes referred to as a caveman diet. The paleo diet is an effort to eat like our ancient ancestors who unfortunately did not have pasta. So we brought in personal chef Aaron Vaughn and from Aaron's Lunchbox, and she's here to share a paleo-inspired menu or recipe for zucchini noodles or Zoodles. Let's get right into it.
I'm excited about that. All right.
Yes. And if you could smell what it smells here with
delicious.
This basil and the tomatoes and garlic, it's wonderful.
How do you make these happen? Because I've heard about them.
All right, we're gonna get you to work first. So we've
Okay.
got a couple of whole zucchini. I've got a few prepped one as well. So I do an all organic meal delivery. A lot of my clients are on 100% grain-free diets. And one of the most popular grain-free diets right now is paleo. I also do traditional diets is kind of what I explain that I eat. So kind of old school, if it can't be made in your kitchen, I don't eat it. So all the food expires, it's all organic.
And do I just start turning?
Yeah, you just turn it. What you want to watch is not having too much pressure.
Now, what if you don't have this contraption in your house?
So this is called a spiralizer. It's not a huge investment. It's something that kind of takes it to the next level. Oh, it's all good. And you can hold onto the handle if you need a little more security. If you don't have a spiralizer, we have a mandolin or just a knife. Now, the secret with the mandolin is to watch your fingers.
Exactly. I have a
I'm
glove
glad he's
for mine.
doing
I usually use a guard, but what I do is I kind of turn it because I don't want all the seeds usually in it.
Okay.
So once we've got our noodles that could be used for lasagna, I usually pop those in the oven, say for like 5 minutes or so, just to get some of the liquid out.
Okay.
And then you could do that with a knife too. So you don't even need special tools.
Can you do a knife with this, or is it just going to take you a year?
That, you're not going to get the same like spiral with it. So you won't
Okay.
get the long noodles, which the great benefit of this is you can still twirl it. So you can twirl it like pasta.
Okay.
So this is our
Baby's getting a
substitute
workout.
for the noodles. Now, I know how easy it is just to buy jarred pasta sauce, but so often it's got creepy oils that I don't
terrible
eat.
too. It has
Can
no
taste
flavor,
terrible.
Sugar, all that
And
junk.
also it can be expensive, right? You get a few jars, and when people say that the real food diet, it can be expensive. You know, all this grass-fed meat and organic produce.
Exactly. That's what people, they want to know, the paleo diet. It sounds like it's going to cost me a lot of money.
Exactly. So one of the best cheats right here is grass-fed ground meat. We're not going for the filet mignon. The ground is a great deal. So we brown the meat, we add tomatoes that were canned in jars, or fresh, depending on the season, fresh garlic, onions, and carrots for sweetness.
So your basic sauce, and then what do? Let's see.
Then we tray it up.
Result.
So we've got our zucchini noodles that we blanched. And we have our pasta sauce.
Look at that, it just appears. That's how I like my
Magically
meal
appears.
to come to me.
This is a quick sauce, so start to finish. It doesn't need to simmer all day. It's about 30 minutes. And you just
That looks
twirl up.
delicious.
We
Smells
are
delicious.
gonna be
A little bit of
chowing
your
down
zucchini.
as we say
chow
bye
down.
to you.
Thank you very much, you guys.
Thank you, Erin, for putting this together because I've heard about it
And bon appetit.
now you get to see this beautiful meal. We want to give a special thanks to our guests. We had Calvin Wells coming into studio, trainer Daryl Foster, and who else did we have here? Help me remember.
Well, first of all, what we really don't, we want you to remember to vote on April 21st.
There you go.
And of course, Aaron Vaughn was here from Aaron's Lunchbox. Thanks also to the segment stars, reporters, and crew, and especially to you out there watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to
enjoy mine.
Bon appetit. Enjoy.
And you can twirl it. That is.
You can twirl it.
That's the fun part.
Okay,
Watch
I'm going
the soup,
home.
right?
This sauce is really good.
I've got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does.
And like that, you're a job creator.
A full life, measured in seats, starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.